Right, hey there. I've not posted one of my spiritual videos, astrology videos for a while, mainly because I myself have been dealing with some pretty harsh, shitty transits from the planets. However, I've been noticing things, and I'll be honest here. In some respects, I I lost my faith and belief in a lot of spiritual things, partly because a lot of the spiritual bullshit and egos I was seeing flying around. Several times when people needed help, people didn't ask questions. They jumped in with their viewpoint and they're kind of ramming their belief or their brand of spirituality down people's throats. And it really kind of didn't leave a nice taste in my mouth because I saw a lot of judgment and one-upmanship, like, oh, I'm better than you because I'm more evolved and more ascended, blah, 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 you know? And then there's all this whole crap about being a vegetarian, being a vegan and, eating meat and all that, but I'm not going to go at that too much. But the interesting thing I've seen is a notice of the need and want to acquire money and wealth is still very prevalent in the spiritual community and seen as a good thing. And the avoidance of politics is another thing I've noticed. Another thing is, well, people are entitled to their point of view, blah, blah, blah. Well, I'm sorry, but as a gay man, I find that abhorrent that someone who's spiritually evolved should believe that someone believes it's right to push me off a building or throw me off a building because I'm gay, or to enact laws on the state level to discriminate against me. I'm sorry, but you're not spiritually evolved if you believe that people have the right to do that. And I will quickly say you've got a very important election coming up in America, really critical election where sadly the Democratic candidate that looks like is going to win isn't the right candidate. And you're going to have a choice between two evils, basically, one really evil and one not so evil. Puppets of the corporations. And if you do not believe or feel that the way the economy is ran and the way our planet is ran isn't tied up into the ascension of a planet and what's going on, then I'm sorry, you are misguided. And it isn't just about us all holding hands and being positive and thinking nice thoughts and stuff like that. No, it's not. It's about action, taking action and talking and sharing stories, not sitting around meditating. Yeah, sitting around meditating is really important to raise consciousness and stuff like that. But it also needs action and it also needs people to get off their fucking asses and make a standpoint for the future of the planet. And I'm categorically telling you now, alright, that there will be a serious fights coming when more and more people wake up as they are doing. Why do you think Bernie Sanders is getting so much support in America when he's a very left-wing candidate? It's because people are waking up to what is happening, and there will be a fight at some point between the 1% and the corporations and the rest of us, and we've got to be prepared for it. And you might think I'm fucking crazy, but it's happening everywhere. We've just had in the UK here the tax evasion issue where lots of very wealthy people are putting their money in tax havens, and it was basically swept aside by the media and hardly focused on, yet many people are really outraged by it. We've had austerity here in the UK, and basically the tax money that could have been collected from these people would have meant we wouldn't have needed any other cutbacks to our services, any other changes in the benefit system, none of the hammering of the poor and the disabled and the sick. and the people who weren't able to work. Now, Pluto is in Capricorn, and Pluto's going to uncover, because he is, let me check, he's not even halfway through, I don't think. He's halfway through, he's just halfway through retrograding, so we are halfway through the Pluto transit, so there's a lot more to come out, and the more the deeper Pluto goes into Capricorn, the more that will be uncovered about the nasty, horrible things that the corporations are doing. And with Jupiter in Virgo, it is going to expand the reality of this in our consciousness, okay? And not only that, as soon as Jupiter goes into Libra, what do you think is going to happen when Jupiter goes into Libra? It's going to expand people's consciousness about what's fair, what's just, what's equal, what needs to happen to make it equal, All of these things are really, really, really critical. And many astrologers are overlooking these bigger facts of why Pluto is in Capricorn, the sign of God, the sign of organizations, bureaucracy, government, money, corporations, business, capitalism, for want of a better word, And capitalism on its own isn't a bad thing. A little guy running his shop, making a little profit, employing a couple of people, that ain't a bad thing. The big bloody corporations running the planet is a very, very bad thing. And you overlook that at your peril. At your peril. I'm telling you right now. You overlook it at your peril, yeah? And the Pluto in Capricorn is going to make this really, some really bad things are going to be uncovered. It's going to get worse. Okay? The things that they've been doing are going to be uncovered. It's going to be worse. And the fight back will be when Jupiter is in Libra and when Mars pushes through Libra as well. That is when people are going to take actions to redress the balance of what has been happening. Okay? I know you're going to say, oh, he's being aggressive, blah, blah, blah. Well, this is my Aries nature. And this is the hero Aries nature coming out passionately to inform you what I feel is going to happen. I'm not going to call myself the truth this or the king this or the prince that or the princess or queen or whatever. I'm just a bloke who gets things sometimes and gets messages sometimes and I share them, I'm just a bloke who knows a little bit about astrology. But I've had this sense in me for a very long period of time and it ain't going away. This feeling I've got and the Pluto thing in Capricorn, and especially when Jupiter goes into Libra, and yes, Jupiter will square Pluto in Libra and form a T-square to Uranus in Aries, which is all about innovation and doing things differently and making a change, and that dynamic cardinal Aries energy pushing for change. Uranus rules Aquarius, which is about humanitarian issues as well. So that is important, that people will be fighting for the planet basically and fighting for humanitarian issues. And it ain't just going to be done by sitting around meditating, eating lentil burgers. I'm sorry. It ain't. We're going to have to step up and do something. Thank you.